at some point. Hello, hello. Welcome to Boys Club. I was just checking to make sure that we were on YouTube, and I didn't get there because I checked Twitch first. And we're live on Twitch. I know that. Okay, so if anyone has any issues with any sound or anything like that, just let us know in the comments on either Twitch or YouTube. So, welcome to Boys Club, and I am one of your hosts. I am Lumpy, and we are here with Ash and Crazy, part of the Boys Club, and joining us today is Ome. Yay! So how's everyone doing? How are you doing, Ome?
Good. It's been one of those days. I feel like I'm behind on everything. I've been like trying to make sure that I have my work all straightened out all the time, but this week I've just been behind all week. Oh, you can't hear me?
Oh, no.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Ash,
Hello?
can you hear Ome?
No.
Oh, no.
I can hear Ome.
No! You can hear me? That's so weird.
Doing the thing again.
Ash always has the... Do you want to try to drop and I'll put you back in?
Me?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Are you not being able... You can hear me, but you can't hear Ome. It's weird.
Yeah, and I can hear Ome just fine. Is my thing frozen for anyone else?
Oh, yeah, you're frozen for me.
You look frozen. I don't know. I don't know if it's StreamYard. I don't know if it's... it might be StreamYard. All right, let's put Ash back to the stage. Ash, welcome back, Ash.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Ome. Can you
hear me?
Ome?
I hear Ome.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
All right.
I was just complaining about how I'm behind on work. That's really all I said. It wasn't anything important.
All right. So, Ash, how are you doing?
Me? I'm good.
Yeah.
I might be all of the technical problems today. But other than that, I'm doing great.
Well, I had some technical problems. That's why I'm wearing my headphones that are
maybe Mercury's in Gatorade.
I hope so.
Nico is very happy to have Ome here because they are their favorite J fashion Marxist.
Nice.
You know, nobody really mentions it like that. But yeah, I do love J fashion, and I am indeed a Marxist.
Yes. Coco is a big fan, just so you know. I'm a big fan of Coco too, so you have that. Anyway, yeah. So Crazy.
Hello, everybody. It's been a minute since we've been on Boys Club, but I'm so happy to have Ome here, also known as Coco. And I've seen your TikToks before. I've very much enjoyed your TikToks and your commentary and everything as well. So it's very nice to have you on Boys Club as a special guest. And you're also part of the Discord as well. Y'all need to get on the Discord for real.
Yeah, well, I'm Discord illiterate. That's why I'm like never actually on Discord, but I'm on the Discord.
Right. I get you.
Yeah. All right. So Ash is back.
And also, I don't know what's wrong with my camera. I don't know why I've been frozen like this. I guess I'm just so beautiful that it couldn't register anything else on my camera.
We're such a mess.
It just froze on this singular frame. But I am here, y'all. I'm not doing a mannequin challenge. I'm actually here. It's fine. I'm not a clone. I'm not an AI, as I've been accused of before, actually. So
yeah,
it's good. I'm here.
Good. Hello, Potato King. Glad that you can finally catch one. So, anywho, we're here to talk about the ACP and the newest iteration. I don't know what the newest tailing, I guess, of InfraWoke and what they're talking about that. I guess Ash, if you ever just keep dropping and coming back if you have to. we'll get through this somehow. So anyways, when I was looking to do, I was like, few weeks ago, I was like, what are we gonna do for this episode? So I was looking around, and I was just on Twitter, and I came across that ACP did a women's conference in Florida in July. Hold on a second. I had to wipe my nose. Sorry. So they did a conference. So I started like looking into that, and we were gonna like just talk about that, but then all of a sudden InfraWoke came out. So I'm like, all right, we gotta hit on all of this stuff. So InfraWoke is I don't know. I guess we can. I'm going to use a couple of the cadre, like people that are in actually in ACP and how they describe it, and then we'll go into what Haas says about it. All right, let's look at this is one of the Twitter guys that's all over the place on there. So Chris Morlock says, InfraWoke is Marxism-Leninism repeating itself. InfraWoke is right in line with classical Marxism-Leninism. It's the development of an independent and autarkic, I can't say this word, autarkic, which just means like self-fulfilling, like you live in a country and you can handle everything, method of production. In this case, and informational one, the finance capital state cybernetically does this, so we must as well. It is a form of social realism. Now, these people they listen to what Haas is saying, and this is why I wanted to read this before we get into what Haas says, because it's just kind of funny. What's moral and right in a bourgeois society, even on the eve of a bourgeois socialism, is what the financial oligarchs want it to be. We're an alternative modernity, and our morality is superior because it is Marx's materialism and a science. The science is always about morality. Again, Haas just disguises the meat and potatoes ML method and serves it to you, an intelligent theorist who understands history. So that is one of the cadre member. Any comments on this?
I mean, like it just like makes me feel lazy because it's such a like word salad, and I don't really know what does this even mean?
All right. Well, you know what, Ome? Let's look one more time at another.
I do want to say it's so funny that like they have these like dedicated cadres that are just running around like beating their drum, being like, is such a intellectual who just understands deep theory. And it's like, bro, when Marx, at least when like Stalin did this, it was like a natural cult of personality that just formed around him. He didn't have to like fucking pay people to do this on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the most correct thing that the ACP ever did was refer to themselves. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, Ash
She'll be
can't.
back. No, I told her she can keep dropping and coming back, I guess, if she needs to.
I mean, I think the strangest thing, but the most accurate thing that they ever did was describe themselves as MAGA, because they have a very similar base in the sense that like it kind of seems like they're just saying a lot of these words that are sort of repetitions of their version of Trump, which is Haas, and they're kind of like letting that language sort of drive the narrative, but it's not anything that really makes a whole lot of sense if you actually read the paragraph and you sit down and you were to if you were to remove the academic language that's being used, the paragraph doesn't actually make any sense.
All right, I'm laughing because the next thing I'm going to show you. This is why I'm laughing. Okay, you ready for this, Ome?
I'm never ready for these people.
This is the guy from the New York chapter. He writes a lot. Now, this is this long.
That has to be
as you're
ChatGPT
saying,
generated.
Yep, and it's like So I was looking for the cosmic morality. This is where I kept saying
morality.
What? Cosmic morality because it came out of Haas basically says it too, so we're getting there. But I'm not going to read all that. But like, it's InfraWoke equals the reinforcement of the cosmic morality and revealing the hypocrisy of woke 1.0, making a critique of it, but also realizing the pure negative anti-woke provides nothing of substantial value. Like this, it's all word salad, and it's stuff like they just feed in what Haas says, and they just this is what they do on Twitter. Like, you know,
well, what's really strange, I had a conversation about language yesterday in another podcast that that I was a part of, where we were talking about some of the language that's being used in terms of how Marxists speak to the public in general. And I quoted my brother, but I'm going to quote him again here, where he said that you don't really know something if you can't speak it in lay terms.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole paragraph that this person said, the very first assertion that's made in the first paragraph is that identity, the language used for the formation of identity and how people understand it is bourgeoisie, which couldn't be further from the truth. The language that's used to sort of academically, historically, sort of understand identity is actually foundationally developed by W.B. Du Bois. He's like the forefather of sociology. Like he's literally known as the founding father of sociology. And he is a staunch Marxist-Leninist, Black, the first Black Harvard graduate. He's also just like incredibly, he's like hardcore pro-Stalin. He wrote one of the best letters about Stalin I've ever read. Wonderful piece of work. And so it's like super strange to, like, from the very beginning, there's just this like complete misunderstanding of historic fact. That's just the first sentence right there that I see that's like, oh, identity, these descriptors of identity are bourgeois. That is just not true, because the identity itself is founded in a political theory by a political theorist who is one of the like most like renowned Marxist-Leninists in theoretical history. So I don't know, that seems
yeah. What I was gonna ask you a question, Crazy. What is woke?
Woke is something that I don't like. Woke is anything I don't like, and I call it, if I don't like something, I call it woke. So like if I don't like my neighbor's dog, I call it woke. If I don't like my sister's new shoes, I call them woke. If I don't like my mom telling me to wake up in the morning and take a shower, I call her woke. Because cleanliness is just woke. Like
woke.
Yeah, like woke. So like everything is woke that I don't like. But I mean, it's not that far from the actual definition of woke. Now, here's the thing about the word woke. Woke actually used to be AAVE. Used to be a term in the Black community. I remember when this term came up in the Black community. That's when I first learned about what woke was. And the idea is, as you could guess, the idea of being very perceptive and very and seeing systems, particularly of racism and of marginalization as they are. It's like seeing oppression, seeing marginalization, seeing police brutality, and how all these systems work together to hold down the Black community and perpetuate racism and white supremacy. And then, of course, it was something that ended up getting taken by white liberals. And it was one of the few AAV terms that they were actually kind of using correctly. And then, of course, conservatives took it and then changed it into something that it just, woke was gentrified, wasn't it? Yeah, woke has been essentially gentrified by first white liberals and then white conservatives, turning it into a bad thing. And then now people are trying to reclaim it. And it's just a cultural buzzword that means nothing. And yet again,
and also that I have a personal beef with the word, not the word, with the gentrification of the word, because it was actually a Mexican American who gentrified the word, and it was Snow the Product, and she wrote a song. It was called like woke. Yeah, Ash knows what I'm talking about, even though I can't hear you, Ash. Yeah, Snow the Product. She wrote a song. It was called, I think it was called Woke. I think it might have actually been called Woke, and it's all about like Mexican politics and stuff like that. anyway, she also started to try to copyright the word and started suing, and specifically targeted Black people who were using the word. So yeah, that is like for me, that was like one of my biggest pet peeves that happened during the like whole, the dialogue that surfaced about the word woke.
Yeah, so that's basically what happened. That's the overall history with it. The word woke, it was originally an AAV term and it got gentrified, and now not even Black people can use the word woke without sounding like, some lame wannabe lib, basically. But the one thing I did want to say when it came to that tweet about like the whole like, oh, these identities have been fetishized and they're bourgeois, this is flying really close to really old harmful ideas of certain identities, like like how people back during, I think around like Stalin's time, was trying to say shit like being gay was bourgeois, and it's like and then when you say, oh, these identities are bourgeois, like how is being Black bourgeois? How is being queer bourgeois? How is being a woman bourgeois? How is being trans bourgeois? Like, how does that happen? That makes no sense. And that's why I'm so happy you brought up W.E.B. Du Bois. I think he was also the founder of the NAACP as well. Another one of his many, many achievements. And he personally met Stalin as well. And he was best friends with fucking Albert Einstein. Fun fact. And so like these identities and the idea of understanding these identities mainly come from the people who experience them themselves, but it also comes from the fact that like at the end of the day, like people exist. These identities exist. You don't, like, Black people don't get to just walk outside and then just ignore being Black, because no one else is going to ignore that in a white supremacist society. People who are women or are femmes or openly identify with femininity, they're not going to be able to just turn that off for the revolution, because there are very real laws in place that are making the lives actively harder for people who are femme, who are trans, who are queer, who is Black, who is disabled. And and to sit here and pretend that like those identities don't exist, like they don't exist, they're fetish. I mean, are they fetishized? Some of them, yeah, but that's something that intersectionality accounts for. Like when I see that and people say stuff like that, it's just people who do not understand the difference between like the bourgeois application of identity politics, which is a real thing, versus intersectionality and understanding how systems come together. It's just the same thing I think I've been saying since day one on this podcast. Please, 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 please understand intersectionality. Please. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to hurt you. I swear to God.
Well, the bigger problem for the ACP is that their intellectual capability stops just shy of being able to understand that the identities themselves are not the issue, rather that like things like pinkwashing in institutions that are wielded by the bourgeois. Like they always talk about the trans agenda, and they use language like Republican language to describe trans people. And what always strikes me is that particularly Jackson Hinkle will post whenever a country will essentially do a crime against queer people in some capacity, whether that is regulate against them in terms of their legal infrastructure and stuff like that. But the conversation that they're having is a white nationalist one, whereas the conversation that Marxist-Leninists in the Global South are having is one where they're describing the institution of transness by the West being wielded as a sword as a cause for imperialism. So it is actually not a imperial, like the identity itself is not bourgeoisie. It is the bourgeoisie who use queer people to access states in the Global South or to undermine states in the Global South. We saw this happen, a rampant conversation taking place in a vacuum about Burkina Faso, and the conversation about Burkinabe sovereignty and how they are extremely repressive against LGBTQIA plus people. But we also see that this conversation is being wielded by the ACP in such a way where they're trying to really divorce the imperial nature of how these institutions, as they become westernized, as they become colonialized intellectually, as they become commodified, how they become a weapon by the United States. So they're talking about it like a classical Republican would, like a liberal would. They're not talking about it in the way that a Marxist Leninist would. They're not talking about it particularly how Lenin would speak about it, which is this, commodified identity that's being used to justify massacres and intervention in the global South. So I think that's like where their intellectual capacity is really like, you can really tell that they don't read when you start to really look at like their justification, their rationale for a lot of their positions. Because I like to say this a lot, that their positions are correct, but if you look at their logic model, it's not Marxist Leninist. It's just a Republican logic model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'll say the right things, but not for the right reasons. Ash, do you want to add anything to this part before we go into some clips?
No, I think you guys covered it amazingly. Okay. I will say though that they run around saying that communism is inherently conservative. So they have made that like pretty obviously their goal is to conflate communism with conservatism.
Yeah,
I mean, their whole thing was MAGA communism literally not that long ago.
Yeah,
like last year, they were already running on being MAGA communists. And I wanted to speak a little bit on what Ome said about, how like they always stop just short. That's on purpose. 110% on purpose. If you read past the excerpts that they give and the quotes that they say and read them, first of all, in context of what they're saying, it's either almost always the exact opposite of what the quote is actually saying or an entire context surrounding it that's like, yo, this is like not the correct application like whatsoever, actually. And they do that on purpose. So they have a little bit of legitimacy, like, oh, hey, if you look this up, it's gonna be here. And then they see some, so like State and Revolution by Lenin, or they see like, the Politics of My Left Toe by like Marx or something. And they think like, oh, look, it's in the actual book, so therefore it's legit. Because these people don't read. Like, this is beyond. Like, the people that thought they don't read, they just don't at all. And so it's like, I go, well, it's here and it's like in the thing. And so when like Hans or whoever, Jackson, whatever figurehead goes off on some tirade and they drop a Lenin quote here and there, they think that they're just these absolutely big brain, just like geniuses, and they just take whatever they take as gospel, basically. And it also just gets to the point where a lot of people who call themselves communist or socialist, like it gets to the point where like I don't call myself a socialist or communist anymore. I just straight up go, I'm a Marxist-Leninist, because a lot of people like the aesthetic of being a communist and like the aesthetic of being a socialist, like some have like the aesthetic of being an activist or the lifestyle, and it's like, bro, there's layers to the shit as it goes. Like it doesn't just stop. And then the reason why they praise Jackson, Hinkle, like Haas and Hinkle the way they do is because they see the aesthetic of the way that people praise Stalin and the cult of person, and they just want to do. They literally want to be bootlickers and followers, and it's strange to me personally, but like it's very, very, very weird, and it's all on purpose. It's 110% all on purpose.
Yeah. All right, let's watch a little bit. Okay, I sped him up a little bit.
Interesting is happening in U.S. history right now, if you don't know. So we had Woke 1.0, which a lot of people got sick of. Then Elon Musk bought X. Then Andrew Tate appeared. We had Nick Fuentes get popular, and the pendulum swung in the opposite extreme, so to speak. And we went from woke to dark, basically, right? And then we had, conservative and Republican grifters milking the anti-woke stuff. So now we have the anti-woke fatigue. We went from woke fatigue to anti-woke fatigue. And now there's a new woke probably on the horizon, right? If you study U.S. history, this pattern is nothing new. The pendulum is always swinging between what they call the Great Awakenings and what I call the Great Darkenings. So historians will refer to the Great Awakenings as periods of religious revival. These have the same structure, more or less, as the woke period that we know of, right, before Trump got elected again. So, for example, there was a great religious revival in the late 19th century that was immediately followed by what I call a Great Darkening, right? So this is the era of social Darwinism, eugenics, pseudoscientific racism, but it's also the era of left-wing writers like Jack London, who are talking about the dark side of reality through books like The Iron Heel, which was a dystopian fiction novel about a future fascism opposite extremes. And I think the roots go back within what we can actually establish territorially within our control, right? So we have a profound mistrust of reality, but we have this strong conceit of moral superiority that only exists within us. And this is ultimately rooted in the way that within capitalism, there's a profound alienation between human beings and material reality itself. The pendulum doesn't swing between extreme right-wing or extreme left-wing politics. Like I said, Jack London was actually left-wing. It's more about these two opposite sides of the coin of how we perceive the nature of reality and our place in it under capitalism. So, Woke 2 is clearly coming, and I want to be at the avant-garde through InfraWoke, seeing beyond the visible spectrum. Woke 2.0, InfraWoke. We need to actually be woke about woke itself. We need to actually be woke to the fact that not everything in the darkness is inherently bad. That just because we can't control the wilderness, the darkness, the reality that's outside of our comfort zone and safe space, doesn't mean it's inherently bad or fascist or something. We need to embrace the dark and somber side of reality and be peacefully reconciled with it. That's the true InfraWoke thing. That's seeing beyond the visible spectrum. That's Woke 2.0.
Okay, so that was just one part of the clip. That was like the first, when he was first coming out with it. So he's calling it Woke 2.0 at that point. And then that soon changes to just InfraWoke, and they don't use Woke 2.0 anymore. Anything, anyone Ash, you have anything to say about that clip?
Yeah.
Are you in the darkness?
I am in the darkness. I need to open a little bit up of my curtain, but I think our buddy Adam here wants to be the next Jim Jones. I really do. I genuinely think that. What the fuck is he talking about? So like this in combination with his, did I show you his clip where he says he used to levitate while the other kids would play on the playground?
Yeah, I didn't. You know what? I don't know why, but I didn't put that in here.
No,
no, and I should have. I should have added.
I can grab it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Ash, fucking excuse me? What?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Let me find it.
I can find it and play it. Hold on. You
so
keep talking,
funny.
Ash, and I'll find it.
It's just like he's so like painful to listen to because like 90% of it is just like word salad. But he's just like obviously trying to like do like a cult of personality, you know?
Yeah.
Manufacturing your own cult of personality is probably the lamest way to get a cult of personality. Like,
pretty embarrassing.
You can't even say
So-
it's authentic.
He kept mentioning Jack London. I looked him up. Jack London lived from 1876 to 1916 and was a socialist. I don't know how you can compare somebody's politics from the literal 1800s to say that like that like historic position on a lot of things that have progressed scientifically are like more accurate.
Yeah.
Hey, what are we talking about?
Of the good old days rhetoric, you know.
Straight up.
Yeah.
I had to look it up because as soon as I saw the name, I was like, who are we talking about?
No, I knew Jack. I mean, I've read Jack London. I think the Call of the Wild or something like that. Like
the Call of the Wild. Yeah.
He was. I'm pretty sure he was a racist, wasn't he, Jack London?
Yeah, I think there's some bad
stuff with him
about Jack London as well.
Yeah,
but.
And the one thing that he kept talking about was the whole like, oh, if you look at history, you see these cycles, and the pendulum always swings back and forth. Well, like we already know that history is not linear. We know that progress doesn't go like this, you know, like it goes all over the place. But what he's saying is such complete bullshit in a way, because it's like, yes, progress isn't linear, and you know, Lenin had like, you know, his whole like 2 steps forward, 1 step back sort of thing. But that was never like the whole like, oh, we saw the pendulum go from woke and then go from like some anti-woke to the right-wing grifters back to woke again. And it's like, no, what happened was that woke stopped being popular, and then now people wanted to push the whole, you guys remember the whole not to be the friend that's too woke trend that was going around? It was like, it wasn't like a fatigue of it. It was just like people, it was just it not being popular as a trend anymore. But being woke has always been a thing. Like that's always been consistent. Like that's always been around. And I personally don't see this sort of pendulum swinging action back and forth. Like how I've seen some people get a little bit more fashy and complacent a lot of the time. Yes, that has happened, but that's because we live in a very, very scary time right now, and like fashion is literally just melting more and more and more. But like this pendulum idea of like, you know, we have seen a great awakening and then a great falling away and then a great awakening. No, that just hasn't been a thing. What happened is that it fell out of favor on like, I don't know, Twitter or whatever they're on.
Yeah.
And it now, I guess now they're trying to bring it back. And it like, bro, I don't know.
It was Trump that brought up woke stuff. I mean, it was the MAGA people that started in on the woke stuff because they didn't like the LGBTQIA. Like that's basically where.
Yeah. I will also say, sorry, there's a little bit of a delay. That's why I keep cutting people up. But what I was going to say is that a lot of these claims that they're making about the pendulum swinging, etc. So sociology would show you the scientific facts of social phenomena like this. And I think it's interesting that they make these claims and they are 100% based on their anecdotal experiences. And it's not even the whole of the ACP, it's just Haas. But I will also say that there was a word that was being used in the 90s, late 90s, and the early 2000s that is comparable to woke, which I would say is the word radical. There were a lot of people who were saying that they were radicals back in the day. And what that meant is that they had a level of consciousness. And I like to say that it's a level of class consciousness is what it actually was. So wokeness, I like to think that in the modern sense is now a liberalized version of class consciousness. Like I think that now it's become so gentrified that it is not really class consciousness in the traditional sense, in the Marxist sense, but it's class consciousness in the liberal sense, which is why the ACP feels like they have the position to stand against it, adopt it, and then turn it into their own right-wing thing. However, I will say that the idea that the pendulum does swing is actually scientifically incorrect when it comes to sociology. Actually, history shows that class consciousness has had more and more popularity incrementally over the years. And the general life quality of the world has improved, and more people are tend to adopt socialism. More and more people tend to adopt Marxist-Leninism. So we actually see that there is a very, very consistent pattern of the majority of the world public moving more and more towards the left, not only politically in terms of their political and economic position, but also socially in terms of the way that they view their stances on marginalized groups and stratified identities. And those stratifications are, of course, manufactured by the bourgeoisie. It is actually bourgeoisie to continue to emphasize these stratifications in the way that the ACP does.
I wanted to bring up Caleb's comment. So he's just going where the wind blows, following what's cool. Yes, it is always like tailing the masses. The ACP is always looking at what the masses are doing and trying, and they incorrectly look at where the masses are going because they have that swing to, towards the right and stuff like that. So they analyze it and then they follow the masses where they think the masses are going. And that's tailing. That is not Marxism, Leninism. All right, let's watch a little more. Hey, Ash, can you find that video and we'll just play the audio? I was going to try to find it, but I don't want to screw with my computer too much because it started like getting a little glitchy in here when I did. So we'll just play the audio from your phone or something or whatever.
Okay.
It's the power of Haas coming through your
I know.
coming through your computer,
I'll,
and it's his magical power.
I'll lip sync it.
Okay. But okay, let's watch a little bit. Well, this is another clip.
It's fucking interesting because there's some very decisive stuff for the party I actually have to talk about. It's actually fucking crazy. We have to review something, look at something, and talk about it, and I have to explain to you, get you up to speed on some of the things that are going on of some rather decisive significance, if I may say so. Quite significant developments that are going on across the board. Now, I want to fucking make an announcement first before I do that, and there's not enough gorillas that are here. That's the fucking problem. Okay, if you're here, you're fucking really smart, okay? So for those that are in line, I'm going to tell you, gorillas are handling the InfraWoke thing like fucking... Fuck, I'm sorry to insult downstream, but it's like an extra chromosome level of that I'm seeing among gorillas. Once again, doing the exact thing that I fucking predicted that they would do, taking it too far and extreme. Can you just fucking be normal? It's like I see so much stupidity and performativity. Holy fuck, can you just not understand? This is about the golden center. And nobody understands that InfraWoke, it's actually what InfraWoke is about, it's not about being woke 1.0. InfraWoke, first of all, just to be clear, for us, it has nothing to do with LGBT. Okay, nothing has changed. We don't have a problem with them, but we don't want to randomly attack them and call them slurs. And that's it. Like, what does it have to do? I mean, people need to
I'm going to stop right there. Each of those beeps have the R word under them, but they don't want to use the F slur anymore. So at least, there is that.
Understand InfraWoke is about being, it's like soupism.
We went from woke to dark, so to speak.
Sorry, I screwed up. Go ahead, Ome.
No, I thought that the video segment had ended, but basically what I was going to say is that I thought that he was using the N word actually. So
oh no, he was using the R word.
I'm a little bit relieved, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I mean, I'm still kind of suspicious of what he meant by gorillas.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
fine.
all right. So has his whole the infrared stuff is he uses a gorilla.
Okay.
And yeah, it never seemed very, I don't know. It seemed very weird to me all the time. I want to play the end of this part of this video though, because it's just kind of funny. Wait a sec. He's gonna tell you. Hold on.
For us, it has nothing to do with LGBT. Okay, nothing has changed. We don't have a problem with them, but we don't want to randomly attack them and call them slurs. And that's it. Like, what does it have to do? I mean, people need to understand InfraWoke is about being, it's like soupism. Really, it's like soupism, really. It's about being enlightened. It's about being enlightened. I went on a whole lecture explaining it, and then the gorillas completely flies over their head, and some of them run to X and run to Twitter, and now they're trying to be nice people, and they're trying to be... Can you understand? You are doing them. You're making the mistake. It's like people have two things in their head that they decide between. Demonism, being demonic, and being shitlibs. And why can't you be InfraWoke? You guys understand it's about Allah, Cosmos, Xi Jinping. This is about the mystical side of Marxism. This is about the dark Marxism. This is dark Mali. This is about literally you know what InfraWoke is like? It's like... You want me to sing the InfraWoke anthem? I'll come up with it right on the spot right now. If you want to understand InfraWoke, it's like... InfraWoke is on some shit like...
Okay, so he just goes on like that for a little bit, so I'll just stop it there.
Okay.
First of all,
what?
I want to mention
last half of that clip. Like, we're in like the cosmic and the InfraWoke and like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you?
That's the cosmic morality.
How you become the crystal girl of Marxism Leninism? How did this happen? What?
Also, he brings up soupism. I just want to say, in case people don't know what soupism is, it's when the Protestants would give a bowl of soup to the Catholic children, and only if they would go to Protestant mass. That was soupism. That's what I understand soupism to be. But go ahead, Ome. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, I just like what really strikes me is that I've my whole life I've been, my mother was an addict. My ex-fiance was an addict. I had a lot of addicts in my life, and he like strikes me as somebody who is like in the peak of like addiction. Like he gives me like addiction vibes, and I don't know what to make of this because it's like so conspiracy racked, and it's like so. It's very unethical, but it's also just really jarring to see. Like it kind of seems like almost like maybe he's having a mental health crisis. Like this doesn't seem too different to me to like the Perez Hilton thing that's going on right now. Like this has the same energy to me.
Yeah,
there's something going on there.
Anyone else have anything for that? Because we're gonna move on to. Oh wait, I don't know. Maybe Eddie. Hold on. No, shut up.
The more times you have to use slurs against someone, the weaker it lands. I'm just going to be frank. The more slurs you use, it doesn't land well in terms of like how much you're actually crushing the enemy. The goal is to defeat and destroy the enemy. If you want to destroy the enemy, don't just spam slurs. That doesn't work. It's really fucking ineffective. When you guys are spamming slurs at people, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a little bitch being like, eh. Like, don't be petty. Don't be petty and personal. Don't be weak, but also don't be petty. Be like Volk Vulture.
Okay. All right. So I have to start on that one. Well, first of all, the word bitch is a slur. So I just want to put that out there. So we say, don't slur, da da da, you're being, and it says a slur. So, anywho. Anywho, he brings up Volk Vulture in the end, and I want to just explain to you guys who Volk Vulture is. Volk Vulture has now is not on Twitter and has loves to delete a lot of their tweets and everything after a while, and we'll come back and start stuff. So basically, when I was fighting with Volk Vulture, what I was noticing Volk Vulture does, and this is their theorist, this is their great theorist, he likes to clip. He likes to clip sentences or paragraphs and say, oh, this is what Engels said, totally taken out of context or something like that. One of the ones that he did, he clipped it from a Silberner, Edmund Silberner, who is a historian, who is a Zionist and an anti-communist, and was trying to prove that Engels was anti-Semitic. And he clipped that, whatever Silberner found, he clipped that paragraph so that he could say, see, Engels was anti-Semitic, and that's a good thing. Yeah. He also has used clips. He was using the FBI informant from the SNCC when they went down to Cuba to prove that patriotism, using the American flag, was a good thing. It's just all stuff like that. He's used Heidegger. He's used, he uses just terrible people to try to prove that Marx and Engels were anti-Semitic, were, just these nasty people, because that serves him. So that's what I want to say about Volk Vulture. But does anyone have anything else on that clip to say?
And what strikes me.
People.
Oh, go ahead. Could you say that again?
I just said one thing. Just stop using slurs. Period. Everyone that has ever done this whole, you can use some slurs, have always come back later and been like, I should have never said that shit. Just stop. Just stop. Period. It's not useful. It doesn't help your argument. It doesn't do crazy enough, he was kind of right on that last clip in the sense of it does not help you. You just look stupid and you look just it just isn't good. Just stop using slurs, y'all.
I wanna read the Wikipedia description of the word Volk really quick here. The German noun Volk translates to people, both uncountable in the sense as people as in a crowd, and countable, plural Volker, as in the sense of a people, an ethnic group or nation. Within an English language context, the German word is of interest primarily for its use in German philosophy, as in Volksseele, national soul, and in German nationalism, notably the derived adjective Volkisch, national ethnic.
Yeah. So the Volkisch.
Aaron Volk.
Yeah, that's exactly where the NSDAP came out of, was the Volkisch movement. That was going on in the late 1800s and the early 1900s in Germany. And that was nationalism, and it was, it was a bourgeois, it was very bourgeois, and the that's what the Nazis were using. So yes, I in my fight with Volk, I brought that up, and he's like, it just means folk. I'm like, that's why you're using it. So, Ash, do you have anything?
No, I'm still looking for his levitation.
I know. I don't know why. Okay,
I can't find it.
The CIA scrubbed it for him.
Did you send it directly to me, or?
I checked. I don't see it.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing it either. That was my problem. All right. Okay. But he did say it. I swear. Amputate King, I will send you the quote. I believe it's it might be from text that was not out, but I thought it was from a larger text. And if you actually put it in context, he's not being anti-Semitic. So it's just ridiculous. All right. This one, we move on to Eddie. And this will be quick.
I was scrolling through TikTok at the gym the other day while I was just shredding on the elliptical, and I came across Madeline Pendleton's live where she was just ranting about the ACP. And I wish I could have hopped on, because like the stuff she was saying was boggling my mind. She was like, these guys at the ACP, they believe that art is banned in North Korea, even though art is promoted in the DPRK. And stuff like that is just so confusing for me as a member of the ACP, because like, who told you that that's what we believe? Like, we just did an education forum a couple weeks ago where we talked about the superiority of socialist art to capitalist art, and how one of the cool things about socialism is that it gives people the time and the resources to produce more art. It's just like, I don't understand how this happens. How do people end up believing things?
Okay. So, did you notice we did a conference? What was the conference in the background? What did it say? A women's conference? We did a conference on art. We did a conference. That's what he was saying on that thing. And that's why I wanted to bring that part up, because then we get into the women's conference, and I'm just going to play the part of the ad for you, and then I have like one clip from them, and I do have something on the Lumpy stuff, but if we get to it, but hold on.
When you hear the term women's liberation, what comes to mind? Do you think of women CEOs? Women entering male-dominated fields? Female presidents? Pro-sex work movement? The right to body hair? The feminist movement within the United States has convinced us that the path to empowerment is participating in systems of imperialism and domination, while simultaneously downplaying industries women actually primarily occupy, such as caretaking, teaching, and medicine.
Okay.
So the system that forces women into the...
Hold on, sorry. So that was just part of the ad. You didn't need to see the rest of it. They just go in and hit on OnlyFans as they do throughout the conference a lot. But first of all, did you notice the shirt that one was wearing? Awesome Dad. You're advertising for a women's conference wearing a shirt that says Awesome Dad. I thought it was just kind of weird. But why did they mention anything about domestic labor? Did anyone hear that? Like, what is women's major work? Domestic
Also,
labor.
I really don't like, because in the beginning they were kind of getting at an okay point of like, we did episodes on like bourgeois feminism versus Marxist feminism and things like that, and how like the whole like girl boss feminism, it's just neoliberalism, because like having more female CEOs and female drone pilots is not feminism. That's just women's place in an imperial capitalist hierarchical society. However, when they then go to the next part and they're like, they don't talk about fields women are actually in, and they immediately go to like caretaking, teaching, nursing, all that. It's like, those are considered women's fields because that's the type of stuff that's pushed on women. Like it's like and it connects back to domestic labor, because like for a long time domestic labor was seen like women's work, and so of course a lot of the work that mirrors domestic labor is going to be dominated by women, because that's kind of like how their role was seen in society. That's the only way they can like monetize their role in society beyond just full-blown domestic labor, like in the home and things like that. So it's just like, that didn't really sit right with me that they brought that up, because knowing ACP and knowing where this is going, they try to pull around to the whole, and this is like, we need to be back in the home and back in the kitchen, and that's why that's actually so like, just already know it's going there. So it's like, yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry, we're getting gay bombed by Virgo's raid. We've been gay bombed, everyone.
Hi, Virgo.
Everyone's gay now. Hi, guys.
Release the nukes.
I need the nuke. I used the filter on TikTok, and I only got, after like watching Virgo all this time and getting gay bombed, I was only at 2%. I'm like, what?
More gay, please.
More gay. We need to make Lumpy more gay.
Waiter. More gay, please.
Yeah, so
drop your weapon. Yeah, right. What I was going to say, though, is that what strikes me always is the way that they use China as like their primary cultural point in terms of like what their right-wing positions are. And almost always, because I've been to China, I can like directly refute what they're saying. I was in the Military Museum of the Cultural Revolution earlier this year, and I'm actually going to be returning. And the quote that is often cited about Mao, where he says that like women hold up half the sky, that's actually because the military, the armed forces of the Air Force of the People's Military in China was all women. The Air Force was all literally women. So I mean, it's just I try to argue with the ACP inside of the context of what they idolize and like revere, because I feel like that's like the most effective way to refute them. And in China in particular, there's like this very like there's a pretty I mean, I would say that it's like a true Marxist feminist movement where we're seeing women completely divest from the institution of nuclear families. There's a current movement where Chinese women are choosing to literally have one night stands, bear the child, and never write the name on the birth certificate of the father. So they want nothing to do with the like nuclear family sort of structure, which I think is super interesting. But anyway, the point of me saying that is that like there's this like complete attachment to China, but then if you like look at all at what's going on there, it's like it completely refutes anything that they're saying about it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna bring up Tate King's ACP trad wives because that's what we're gonna get into in a minute.
Yeah.
Ash, do you have anything to add?
Say no to ACP trad wives. Yeah, I mean they just do like dog whistles all day long. They don't understand any theory at all. They do want to retain the nuclear family. They've been saying quote unquote traditional family values, which we know is just like a dog whistle of like white supremacy and homophobia. They're incredibly homophobic, transphobic. All you have to do is just like look at their podcast for like 5 minutes and it's like nothing but like slurs and like bigotry, and I think that they are a barrier to like organizing in the United States.
Yeah. Out of an hour and a half to 2 hour long women's conference, how many times do you think they mentioned domestic labor?
Probably none.
They actually mentioned it twice, only because that was in the introduction and they were probably AIing and they were using a lot of like, they used some colon type points and stuff like that. So they never really get into it. It's so, go ahead, Ash.
What year Colin tie? Did they do like based Colin tie?
No,
or
well,
did,
they weren't.
Did they do like problematic Colin tie?
A little problematic, I would say, too. Like, I think it was just I think they just literally like AI'd the speech, like because they didn't talk on the points like later on, and then the way that they would talk about some of the points that they talked about were wrong. So it was more so like I was planning on going in and clipping this thing and being like, they're getting this all wrong. It wasn't so much that they were getting so much wrong. They did hit a lot of points correctly because of the fact that they were like Ome had brought up, they will like use those, they will say the correct points, but then it's how they describe them later that it shows they don't understand it and they haven't analyzed it. Let me play
real quick.
Yeah.
They have a big convention coming up. Do you guys see that?
Oh yeah, and they're doing the convention in Chicago on the 3rd and the 4th or something like that.
Yeah, they released the lineup with. Yeah.
It's all men. It's all men for one thing, and it's terrible. The lineup is horrible.
Are there any POC besides?
you do have Mocha Yappuccino. You do have yeah.
Do you see that?
You do have RBN. You have Nick Cruz, who's been kind of on the sidelines with ACP from the get-go a little bit, but Nick doesn't do Marxism-Leninism. There's other people in RBN that are Marxist-Leninists, and they do speak more like Marxist-Leninists, but like I don't know, but like he's always been on that. So yeah, there are a couple of POC, and then of course there's Carlos. So there's a couple of POC, but yeah, there was no women in the lineup I saw. So and like Eddie calling the women's conference an art in socialism conference, like.
So wait, did you say that Mocha is going to be a part of the ACP? Ooh, that's weird. Okay, I have to say why. I have to say why that's weird.
Promo, Ome.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we got into a huge tiff in a group chat somewhat recently. But what I was gonna say is that he also endorses Mamdani. He's like a pro-democratic socialist. So it's weird that the ACP would like. I just don't know.
Weird because I swear Yappuccino is also in the same circles, or is associated with the same circles with like Madeline.
Yeah, Madeline and Mocha are friends, even.
We're all in the same.
So it's just like, what are these dots that are connecting and making zero sense?
Well, I mean, my theory about Marxist, about Western Marxist-Leninists is that they have a really hard time coming to terms when something is actually a psyop.
Yeah.
And this is one of those cases where I think like the ACP is like the most blatant case of like FBI, COINTELPRO type of organization. If memory serves, like, you know, one of the first ways that they undermined the Panthers was by infiltration. So I'm not surprised that there are people who are in our spheres who are affiliating with the ACP. What gives me pause is that I think the reason that Mocha would be in it is because, if I'm not mistaken, he's Muslim as well. So Haas is doing this whole like push for Islam to be affiliated with Marxism. So
even though there's already Islamic Marxism on its own merit. So it's like, what, you're not doing anything that's new.
Yeah, well, but he is referring to it as specific, like he's positioning it from a anti-Semitic point of view, like an anti-Israel stance, but it's actually just an anti-Semitic point of view because they don't account for like pro-Palestine Jews, etc. Anyway, that being a point aside completely, but yeah, I mean, that's why I think that he would be a part of it. There are a few people who are like kind of on the fence that are mutuals of mine. Mocha and I are actually mutuals too, so I might send him a message and be like, hey, like, are you really going to be honest? Because if he is, honestly, I'm going to not be mutuals with him anymore. I don't need the FBI.
He's on the poster. He's on the poster, Ome. He's in it to win it. I don't know.
I want to know what he has. I need to know what he has to say about it, though, because because Madeline's been reposting some of his. Madeline reposted something by him recently. Anyway.
And Potato King says Mocha believes that ACP has the most motion. I heard. Isn't that something that Mocha was saying to you guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mocha says that over and over again.
Yeah, the motion argument has been persistent, and
they have 150 card carrying members.
Virgo, I'm going to say that you, like, as Madeline, as you, as me, as Ash, as Ome, we can't know everything that's happening in every movement that everyone makes, and I don't believe that Madeline, knows every move everyone's making.
No,
so
Madeline.
If Madeline promotes something, it's not like if Madeline's reposting or whatever you do, you repost it, right?
Yeah, right. I think Madeline's kind of like.
I have faith. Because I'm such a huge Madeline Pendleton like stan. Like, you can never make me hate Madeline, but it's like I have faith if someone told Madeline, they would be like, oh,
okay, hang on.
Oh no, I'm sure they don't know.
No, Madeline doesn't know because me, Ome, and Madeline have had arguments in group chats about ACP. Like,
Yeah,
Madeline's hands are 100% clean in this situation.
Yeah. Oh no, I know Madeline. Madeline, go to Twitter. You can watch Madeline having a daily fights with them. So.
Yeah, no.
It's just
so
like
don't anybody misconstrue
the
it.
reason, the reason I'm saying that it's strange that Mocha's like getting reposted by Madeline is on Mocha's end, because I think that if you have a comrade who's being attacked by a whole sector of people, then I think it's two-faced. That this just like me kind of putting that out there. It's like me being like, oh yeah, like there's like a group of people. Like if it would be if I was on here and like friends with Ash, and I was like secretly like gonna be on a panel by the ACP on the ACP tomorrow. And like one of the reasons that Mocha has as much of the views in some of his videos as he does is because of Madeline.
Yeah, because of getting posted by
that's I'm the one who's being shady right now. I'm like,
the hand holding. Like, I'm to the point where like if I see you even giving a slight amount of support to the ACP, I'm going to assume that you're stupid and that you don't know what communism is, and that you probably shouldn't be around because maybe you're a fucking liability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is why people have been
totally
saying for the longest time over and over and over and over and over again that the people that will truly lead the revolution are minorities. You know, like, and then, you know, everyone has their own personal stake. People are like, oh, it's going to be black people, it's going to be black women, it's going to be trans men, and, you know, things like this. But it's like, it's just minorities in general. Like, like every time this shit happens, and the first people to like backslide or turn sides, turn tail, or being opportunists is like, you know, it's usually of privileged groups. So people who are white, people who are white, people who are men, people who are able-bodied, people who are cisgender, people, trans people that pass, even, you know, like people that live in non-rural communities, you know, and there's just stuff like that that happens over and over again. And also, when it comes to like ACP, co-op, COINTELPRO, I almost want to say that saying ACP is like the COINTELPRO is an insult to the COINTELPRO, because ACP is so obviously just trash in a way. And I think, and if there's some sneaky shit going on, 100%, I 100% believe that. But it's like, it's so obviously terrible, because like if the ACP was an actual communist organization that had any bite, the fucking US government would be on top of their fucking ass. Like the fact that they can call themselves the American Communist Party with zero pushback, without even as much as a mention of Trump on Twitter or True Social. Trump doesn't know these people. They are that dog water. Like the fucking it's the same thing with the CPUSA. To openly call yourself a communist party in the United States and get zero pushback from any local or federal government, for real, it's not, at that point, it's not even COINTELPRO. It's just trash. And it's just trash.
I mean, I would push back on that though, because the ACP in particular, they have taken political trips that are extremely questionable. And I will also say this, I've had direct run-ins with the CIA in Mexico. They are not smart people. They are incredibly stupid. Like it's literally remarkable how stupid they are. My dad likes to say that they come in and they'll say they're Spanish, like they're chewing Spanish. They'll like try to integrate into like the Mexican community, and their Spanish is like because they literally have the Yankee accent. It's so heavy that like
I mean, in the majority,
everybody knows.
All right,
they're just like these agents. They come from to be clear, they usually come from like veteran organizations. Like that's usually where they come from. Not smart people. Like think of the worst, most like unintelligible MAGA person you can think of becoming a CIA or an FBI agent. Like that's where we're at. That's like what's going on. So like that is like I think the ACP fits the
Hold
bill.
on one second, because Ash has been waiting to say something, but I just want to mention when you just said the thing about the CIA going in and speaking bad, Spanglish or Spanish or whatever they're doing, that is actually what was happening in the USSR. Like they had the white army, they were dressing up. The Narodniks first did it, and like people were like, "This is weird," but the whites were trying to like pass themselves off as peasants and stuff like that, and the peasants were like, "Who are these
Hola,
people?"
señor. Hola, señor. Yo quiero un tequila.
Ash, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
El Mundo. Vosotros.
Exactly. That's the biggest tell. You hit me with some Spanish, and we're gonna have problems.
I just love the passage of anyone that's Spanish.
No. I was gonna say back in the 60s that like the CIA and FBI like would fund like these like small like even like Democrat like student led organizations and stuff like that, and like I don't think it's like out of the realm of possibility. I think that they're a psyop. I do. But I wanted to clarify why I said that if you think that they're communist, you're stupid. And the reason is because not just because they're conservative, not just because they're bigoted, which obviously you should not be bigoted and be a communist. That should be like a tell immediately. Like, duh. But they're not theoretically sound. So if you go through like their party line and their constitution, they're very explicitly talking about like retaining the United States character, the American character. They're talking about they want to deepen the American Revolution started in 1776, stuff like that. They also call themselves patriotic socialists. They don't understand, not even like if you're like, because everyone says that they're class reductionists, and I would argue that like they kind of aren't, because they don't even know like economics like at all. You know what I mean? Which obviously it's not good to be a class reductionist, but I'm just saying the irony in that. So like to me, they're basically like MAGA DSA, essentially. Like they are reformist. Like they're not in any way at all communist. And I think that like we need to be very like clear when we interact with people and they bring up ACP, be very, very clear that these people are not fucking communists. They're much closer to like
I can tell you
that
my local DSA has more actual like will tell you to your face Marxist-Leninist in it than the ACP does.
Yeah.
I will also say that if the motion argument is the argument, then the DSA does have the most motion, but I don't think that people should be joining the DSA. Like they're still Democrats.
Right.
Agents saying patriotic socialism sounds like a dog whistle to me.
It is.
It is. Because you have like the NASBL, you have like so National Socialism, Patriotic Socialism, like they're all like
NAZI. It stood for
Nazis.
National Socialists.
So they don't hide it very well. Like, and that's the whole thing. They were like, we're not nationalists, we're patriotic socialists, and I'm like, really? You're saying that
Patriot Front does the same thing, and they're very explicitly right wing.
Yeah,
but this is why I'm saying if you follow ACP, like you might be stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you guys want to watch the last clip I have, and then
I'm down.
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
I'm sorry.
And devalues reproductive labor and celebrates a few exceptional women at the top. It is the same system that traps men in precarious, low-wage work and destroys their community and denies them the time and energy to be present fathers and partners. We spend a lot of time in this identity politics game, blaming each other, and that has only harmed us. That has only caused us damage. And we just want to make it so clear that at the end of the day, the enemy is capitalism. The enemy is imperialism. The enemy is not your coworker who maybe you think is backwards, but his wife is at home. She's making dinner. She's taking care of the sick father-in-law. She's got 2 toddlers running around. Like, he's got a hard life. Does he really have time to like update himself on everything right now? And you know, like the lunch lady at school, she might be kind of kind of mean sometimes, but again, she's probably doing all of the household labor when she gets home, and we can't keep blaming each other.
Yeah. So, Ash.
I mean, could they maybe have had like one mother up there to maybe talk
Mm-hmm.
or something?
Yeah. So this whole thing is like he goes home and he just might not understand these things, and it's really hard because he's working really hard all day. And then the lunch lady, like, oh yeah, let's go into the trope of the lunch lady. I'm like, what? What are we doing
don't
here?
Don't trigger me. If we keep talking about this, my ex is gonna get a phone call and I'm gonna yell at him. It's disgusting. It's so
the men are little small
gross.
babies. You can't be mean to the men. They're
Right?
babies.
You have to
They're small
swaddle
babies.
them.
You have to
Fucking
swaddle them. You have
Guys,
to.
you're doing so hard on my husband. He's a grown man with a job and 2 kids.
And
he
those
was so
girls are like,
He's
ignorant.
only
I'm so sorry.
33 teen years old.
I can't. Those girls that they have delivering this message are obviously nervous and like 18. Like, girl, you don't know yet. You don't know yet how awful this shit is. Like, please get up, get off the ground.
And it's funny that they try to do this whole like, but he works so hard, and like we just can't blame each other. And it's like, lady, some of like the earliest theorists on some of this shit, like Omay brought up the wonderful W.E.B. Du Bois. That man was doing every fucking thing, and he still was very progressive for his time. So like, what are you talking about? Like,
Also,
if he wanted
the way
to, he
that they
would,
were
you know?
dressed. Did you see the way those girls were dressed in like a Mormon aesthetic?
Literally,
What was that? Like,
literally
long conservative dress with like the hair, like the long hair. Like, they look like they're about to go door to door to give like Bibles out.
That, I mean, a good
Literally.
portion, probably at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes, they were talking about sex work and how evil and bad it is and all that stuff. So out of an hour and a half, yeah, like maybe like a quarter to a third of it was dedicated to not talking about domestic labor. Not talking about domestic labor, but talking about sex work.
So by the way, on YouTube, so I'm watching us live on YouTube as well and looking at comments. And somebody said that there was a letter signed by U.S. Congress people calling Hinkle and the ACP terrorists. I could not find any evidence of that existing. I have, however, seen a screenshot from Haas's email where he claims that the FBI is looking through his email. And all I can say about that is that I could make that screenshot. I could fabricate that screenshot myself as a graphic designer in no time whatsoever. That's the only thing that I've personally seen that he has published with my own eyes. And that is not enough proof, in my opinion, for him to not be in with the American state.
If the FBI, supposedly they have lawyers in their little party there, right? If the FBI was, what would your lawyer tell you the first thing to do if the FBI was looking at your stuff? You would not talk. Don't
go live on TikTok.
Yeah, and say all the stuff that supposedly the FBI is upset
also
about.
Like, is the FBI like emailing him and they're like, hey, what's up, Haas? We're going through your shit.
No, so the screenshot was that the FBI had gone through Haas's email and they were just notifying Haas of an investigation.
Why would they notify him?
I don't know, but I don't think that they would. I also don't think that the FBI would email you a notification like that. I think they would send it to you through certified fucking mail, like any other investigation, and they would probably have to serve you. Like if you had evidence of like an investigation, even one that was being terminated, then you would have certified mail in your mail that you could take a picture of. Why is it a screw anyway?
He's such
Anyway.
a liar. He lies about how tall he is too.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, sorry.
That's not surprising. That's whenever Ash and I are on a live, I immediately jump to looks when people start to get a little too rowdy. I'll be like, "Oh, you're under 6 feet, aren't you? It doesn't touch your belly button. Your hairline is receding."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You put us on the same episode together. I apologize.
One of the other, so the last thing that I just clipped, I didn't clip it. I just have what they said. I have the transcript. So so they're talking about the lumping, and they're like, it's just people are generally not. These are just people generally not producing. And these people are able to be taken advantage of in the revolutionary scenarios by the ruling class because they can offer them money and offer them property, right?
Holy shit, bro.
But can a worker be the same thing? Like, anyone could be.
They don't know what the lumpen is. They don't know what productive or non-productive labor is. They don't know anything. They need to be hit in the face with all 3 volumes of capital. Genuinely.
At once.
Yeah.
At once.
Put it in a pillowcase and just hit. Sorry.
I would honestly. I would settle for them to go through a crash course by what's his name? He's now a horrible liberal.
Richard Wolff.
No, the guy that he just said that he was using AI. He did the crash courses on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hank Green. Yeah, I would settle for them taking the Soch 101 courses that Hank Green puts out. That would be enough for me, just to get them just to get them out of the far right, so that they could know some basic fundamentals of how to read, because I don't think they know how to read. That's they're literally just the product of illiteracy. I think either there's only 2 ways that they are the way that they are. It's either intentional or it's accidental, and in both cases, it's a problem.
Literally. I think I talked about that the last podcast, where it was you can tell that we're in the middle of a literary crisis, because at least beforehand, when people were reading it, they were reading different interpretations, or maybe they were just trying to present an argument that didn't really make sense, but at least they were reading it and trying to argue. Now it's got to the point where they're just not reading it at all. They just are not at all.
They are.
No, they're reading summaries.
They're not even doing
right.
that.
They're reading AI.
No, they're not. Well, no. Here's
AI
what they do. So I interact with these ACP dorks all day long, right? And when I asked them for an argument, they said, well, Haas said that the labor theory of value. And I'm like, can you make an argument? And they're like, well, Haas told me. Haas explained it this way. And I'm like, have you read the material? And they're like, well, I watched a video and Haas said.
That's why when I'm on Twitter, I like to go, whenever they say something weird, I go, oh, I think Haas would like to know this, and I tag Haas, and they all get all upset. And I'll do that. I'll be on TikTok, and Ash will be in a live, and I was like, I think, oh, you know what? I think I need to clip this and send it onto Twitter to Haas, because I think he needs to see this, and I've done that a few times.
Well, Haas doesn't believe in dinosaurs. Did you know that?
That's special.
Hey,
dinosaur denial.
No genes.
That is some special snowflake, unique girl activity.
They're just not like other girls.
Wait a second.
No. You guys aren't real.
You guys are just not InfraWoke. Hold on. Let me sing the song.
Oh, God, there's a song.
No.
We're all InfraWoke now. Virgo needs to see that part of the video. Virgo, you need to watch where that happens.
I'm gonna infra drive off a fucking cliff.
This is real.
I also, as a side note, so I published a video on Xiaohongshu about the ACP, and the ACP found it and got it taken down. This happened earlier this year, a while ago. And I counter reported. I had somebody review it, and it got reapproved. And I was discussing how the ACP is in bed with the American government, and I think that if the CCP reinstates my video, I'm probably the one who's right here.
Yeah, I'd say you're right. Yep.
That's all I have to say about that.
Bully Party.
I like to call them the American CIA Party.
American Cuck Party, American Cop Party.
Cry Bully Party.
So anyone have anything else to add to our conversation on ACP? Or are we ACP'd out?
No.
Oh, wait.
I don't think I have anything new. I mean,
Todd told me. Todd personally told me.
Todd told me. I guess the one thing that I would add is that if you follow me on TikTok, then I have a collections on my TikTok. It's like a playlist, but it's like of other people's videos. That it's titled "Say No to the ACP." If you want to check it out, there's a lot of like very well sourced like videos where there are screenshots. There's like video footage and stuff that's being taken into context. I also have an article on Substack called "On Joseph Stalin." Or the misunderstanding of the left on Joseph Stalin. In the first segment, I discussed the ACP and the way that they interpret and misinterpret Stalin's legacy. If you want to check those out, variety of creators are in the playlist on TikTok. Yeah. I think Ash's old videos are in there. I wish you would remake them. I will say that.
I should. Maybe I'll work on that. Maybe I will.
And Ome can be found at Sugar Skull Angelique.
Angelic.
Yeah, Sugar Skull Angelic. Anywhere there's social media and I'm there, I have the same username everywhere.
I'm there.
And it's also at the link in my link tree.
Follow her or else.
Yeah. Or else. We always do the or else.
Or else
we have nothing.
Or else.
We have nothing at the end of that or else ever.
I'm gonna go tell Haas about you.
I'm gonna go tell Haas. Yeah.
Or else we'll make you listen. We'll make you listen to 3 hours of Haas meditating.
Just on a loop.
What a treat.
Wait, was Stalin a liberal?
Oh.
Was Stalin a liberal?
I'm illiterate all of a sudden. I don't know.
Nah.
I'm blind.
I guys, I don't know. I think he gives Virgo. I think he gives like Leo. Is that what we're talking about? Liberal.
Stalin was a based Chicano. That's all.
Oh my gosh, he was. He was a cholo.
He was a brown beret. People don't know that about him.
Yeah, he was a cholo. He used to do the huepa.
He did.
That's why he had Trotsky. That's why he had Trotsky hit out in Mexico City, fool.
And that Ash is actually Stalin's granddaughter, I hear.
I am Stalin's granddaughter.
Essay?
Yeah. He had higher socks than Trotsky. That's all I know.
He had the highest socks.
He did. Went up to his butt cheeks.
I can picture it in my head. And I just know he had a shelf. Like, I know he had like a good one.
A little bubble butt.
Yeah. I know he did. In my heart, I know.
Right, Stalin had a bubble butt. Okay. Hey! Thigh-high Stalin. Yep.
I'd like to be thigh-high
Stalin. Wait. I'm still getting used to Ash using body count. That came out of, we were just sitting around and I think it was just Ash being a cutie and we were like, we should just start calling any numbers like body counts.
Yeah. Share the live. Get that body count up for us, please.
We want a high body count, everybody. Keep sharing the live.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. So before we go though, I need to know about the Mean Girls because you've mentioned it, Ash, but I need to know.
We are the originals.
What does it mean? Tell me like the context.
It means that they tried to debate me and that I wasn't nice and that I was mean and I'm a mean girl. And
so you just do mean girl communism.
I do mean girl communism, not regular communism. I do mean girl communism because I refuse to build coalition with ACP.
Yeah.
And I use very mean words when I speak to them. Like
the mean words that you use are the big words like idiot and stupid and dumb, and they go crying to
they don't like that. They don't like that. They really like slurs, but they think it's mean girl communism when I say, hey, like you're a dumbass. That's really mean.
I think the Regina George of communism. Yay.
I think he's calling us I think they're calling us.
I might be a mean girl. That might be why I've survived TikTok this long.
It could be.
That's real.
Honestly, yeah.
It's all right.
I don't know if I'm a mean girl, but I like to say that I'm the second most canceled bitch on the internet.
Rick says Ash is the mean lunch lady.
Oh my gosh. So rude.
The one they were talking about. You could just go home after you serve the lunch because you're so mean. But you know, you have to do domestic labor too. That's why you're mean, Ash. That's why you're mean.
Yeah.
Ash is only 33 teen years old. Leave her alone in her mean girl ways.
I'm literally a fucking baby. Like, what do you want from me?
Exactly. Exactly. Ash is a baby. You can't. You can't. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Leave Ash alone.
You'd have to go through.
I don't know why I became British. What's his name?
Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
Who? I said Oliver Twist.
What's his name? Chris what?
Crocker?
Yeah, Chris Crocker. I became British Chris Crocker.
Leave Brittany alone.
But I was leave Ash alone.
Everyone leave Brittany alone, though. Honestly.
Yeah, leave Brittany alone. Leave Madeline alone.
I'm serious.
Leave Madeline alone.
Yeah, leave Madeline alone.
Literally.
Or else.
One of us needs to get on TikTok and just hit the leave Madeline alone and just like
I wonder if we could coalition to pay somebody famous to do it.
That would be insane. I love that.
I think we can. I think that's a real thing. What is that called? A cameo?
Oh, you pay them. Yeah, a cameo. You pay them money.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
I wonder who we could get. I want to get somebody equally as gay. You know, if I wasn't super suspicious of La Roche of his politics, I would get him to do it. I would pay him to do it. Y'all know La Roche, right?
Let's go all the way up to the top. Let's get like Pedro Pascal.
Oh
yeah, that'd be nice. Leave Ash alone from Pedro Pascal. All right. I think with that, I think we're getting pretty goofy.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, we've gone into this hanging out mode.
So, all right, with that, we are going to say good night. Well, does anyone else have anything you want to add?
Goodbye, my little love muffins. I've missed you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.